Have you ever walked past a display of fresh watermelon at the market and thought it was just a sweet summertime treat, better suited for grandkids or a family picnic? It might surprise you to learn that this juicy fruit holds a lot more than refreshment. It can be a secret ally for many adults over 65 who are looking to feel more energized, support healthy digestion, and maintain overall vitality in ways they never imagined. One of the most common hurdles people face as they get older is figuring out how to stay hydrated and nourished without feeling like they're constantly forcing down glasses of water or dealing with foods that upset their stomach. This is more crucial than ever in our later years because even mild dehydration can contribute to aches, low energy, and even more frequent doctor visits. The good news? Paying attention to one overlooked fruit might just make a bigger difference than you think. Addressing this issue matters because dehydration and nutrient deficiencies can lead to a cascade of concerns: muscle cramps, dizziness, heart health issues, and even changes in mood or memory. At the same time, making shifts to your diet can sometimes feel overwhelming, especially if you're managing conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or arthritis. However, there's something uniquely helpful about watermelon. It offers a natural combination of high water content, essential vitamins, and an easy texture that's gentle on teeth and digestion. With just a few tweaks to your usual routine, you could find yourself feeling more hydrated, more comfortable, and even more confident when it comes to daily activities like walking, gardening, or simply playing with the grandkids. Throughout our time together, we'll explore 4 key insights that reveal the true potential of watermelon for older adults. You'll discover how this fruit can help you sidestep some common misconceptions, learn new ways to prepare it so it's more enjoyable, and understand the subtle yet powerful impact it can have on your body and mind. Imagine this transformation. Instead of feeling tired halfway through the day, you're able to stay alert and active simply by making a few smarter food choices. Or picture a scenario where you worry less about leg cramps during the night and more about planning a morning stroll with friends. These insights come from observing countless seniors who have found small dietary shifts to be a game changer. No miracle cures, no expensive supplements, just practical steps anyone can take if they choose. I've witnessed people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond regain their enjoyment of life by exploring everyday foods in a more strategic way. While none of this is meant as medical advice, it's based on the growing consensus among nutrition experts that the needs of older adults can be met elegantly by paying closer attention to hydration and nutrient-dense foods. If you have specific concerns or conditions, of course it's best to discuss any major dietary change with your healthcare provider first. Before we jump deeper, take a moment to think back. What was your very first memory of biting into a fresh slice of watermelon? Was it at a family barbecue? A holiday picnic? Consider how that sweet taste and hydrating crunch made you feel. Keep that memory in mind because as we move forward, we're going to revisit watermelon in a whole new light, one that could make it a delightful part of your life again, this time with benefits you might never have considered possible. Let's begin by addressing a belief many older adults have about watermelon, that it's simply all water and sugar. It's true that watermelon is mostly water, over 90% in fact, but that doesn't mean it's devoid of nutritional value. In fact, some people dismiss it altogether because they've heard it might spike blood sugar or that it lacks vitamins and minerals. Take George, for instance. He's 73 and has been carefully managing his blood glucose for years. He used to avoid watermelon because he thought it had too much sugar. But one afternoon, George's doctor mentioned that, in moderation, watermelon can be part of a balanced diet. George was skeptical, so he did a bit of research. What he found was that watermelon has a relatively low glycemic load when eaten sensibly, and it's rich in nutrients like vitamin C, vitamin A, and even a compound called lycopene, which has been associated with heart health. Armed with this information, George decided to experiment. He started by adding a small cup of diced watermelon to his breakfast routine. After a few days of testing his blood sugar, he realized it didn't cause a drastic spike, especially when paired with some lean protein, like a boiled egg or a small serving of cottage cheese. This small tweak not only made his breakfast more enjoyable, but he also noticed he felt less inclined to sip on sugary beverages throughout the morning. Drinking plain water felt easier because he no longer craved an overly sweet taste. Despite his initial doubts, George learned that watermelon's natural sugars were balanced by its high water content, vitamins, and fiber, as long as he kept portion sizes reasonable. What George's story teaches us is that many older adults can indeed handle a modest serving of watermelon without significant glucose issues, especially when balanced with proteins or healthy fats. The key lies in recognizing that any food, watermelon included, can fit into a healthy plan if we pay attention to portion and pairing. If you're on certain medications or have more complicated health conditions, it's wise to double-check with your healthcare provider. However, for many people, the assumption that watermelon is off limits may be holding them back from a fruit that could make hydration simpler and more palatable. In practical terms, it might help to think of watermelon in about 1 cup servings. That's roughly the size of a small bowl's worth. Pair it with a piece of cheese or a handful of almonds to slow sugar absorption. You can even blend it into a smoothie with a teaspoon of chia seeds for added fiber. The beauty of these steps is how easy they are to implement. Rather than reaching for a sugary dessert, you might find that a bowl of chilled watermelon satisfies your sweet tooth while offering valuable hydration. Physically, you're getting natural fluids that can help alleviate symptoms like mild headaches or fatigue, which often come from not drinking enough water. Emotionally, you might enjoy the nostalgic comfort of a summer treat while feeling you're making a smart, health-conscious choice for your body. Shifting gears, let's look at another overlooked aspect: watermelon's contribution to heart health. Many seniors are surprised to learn that watermelon contains a substance called citrulline, which plays a role in supporting healthy blood flow. The misconception here is that fruits don't necessarily do much beyond basic vitamins, and that supporting heart health relies solely on medications or strict diets. While medications and professional guidance are certainly crucial for anyone with heart conditions, the added benefit of certain fruits can be a gentle complement. Marilyn, who is 78, was told by her cardiologist to stay mindful of her salt intake and to keep an eye on her blood pressure. She had always thought the only real way to do this was through medication and reducing sodium as much as possible. When she stumbled across information about how watermelon citrulline may assist in maintaining healthy circulation, she was intrigued but cautious. She didn't want to rely on food alone to manage a serious health concern. Still, her curiosity led her to include a few slices of watermelon in her diet each week, especially after her morning walk when she felt she needed a refreshing snack. Over time, Marilyn noticed that she felt less fatigued during her walks and had fewer of those off days when her legs felt heavier than usual. She made no other major changes, so she wondered if watermelon might be playing some small, supportive role. When she mentioned it to her cardiologist, he pointed out that while watermelon isn't a cure or a substitute for her prescribed regimen, the hydration and nutritional profile could indeed be aiding her overall cardiovascular well-being. This gave Marilyn a sense of control. She felt like she wasn't just passively following orders, but also actively nourishing her body in a simple, enjoyable way. This new perspective on watermelon isn't about dramatic promises. It's about recognizing that even everyday foods can contain compounds that support our body's natural processes. By understanding watermelon's citrulline content, you may choose to include it as part of a balanced approach to circulatory health. Even if you're already on blood pressure medication or other treatments, discussing possible dietary additions like watermelon with your healthcare provider can be a proactive step. Practically, this might mean slicing watermelon into chunks and storing them in the fridge for quick access, rather than reaching for salty snacks. You could even top watermelon cubes with fresh mint leaves for a flavorful twist that feels almost gourmet. The physical reward is the potential for better stamina during walks or exercise, while the emotional benefit is confidence, knowing you've taken a small step toward a healthier lifestyle on your own terms. Before we continue, I'd love to know if you've ever experienced changes in energy or stamina after adjusting your diet, even in a minor way. Have you noticed any positive effects simply by adding more fresh foods or hydrating more regularly? It's remarkable how just a few tweaks can make an unexpected difference. Sharing your experiences, even in a conversation with a friend, can help reinforce positive habits and inspire others to give them a try as well. Moving along, there's yet another hidden perk of watermelon that many seniors overlook. its role in digestive comfort. The common misconception is that watermelon's fiber is minimal, so it couldn't possibly help with regularity or gut health. But consider Edna, a 75-year-old who always struggled with occasional constipation. She had tried fiber supplements, prunes, and various teas with mixed results. A nutritionist mentioned to her that while watermelon doesn't have the same fiber punch as, say, bran cereal, it does offer a combination of water, a bit of fiber, and certain nutrients that can support gentle digestion. Edna was intrigued, but she doubted that something so light and juicy could rival fiber supplements. Still, she began enjoying a cup of watermelon about an hour after breakfast. Within a week, Edna noticed she was more regular and felt less bloated. She joked that she found it much more pleasant to snack on watermelon than swallow more pills. The reason this can work is that the body often needs enough hydration to move things along comfortably, and watermelon offers both fluid and a subtle amount of fiber in a package that's easy to digest. Of course, it won't replace the need for other fiber sources, but it can be part of a broader strategy, especially for those who don't always enjoy chugging water throughout the day. From a practical standpoint, what does this look like? It could be as simple as adding watermelon cubes to a mixed fruit salad in the morning, or slicing it into wedges that you keep at eye level in the fridge, so you're reminded to grab a piece instead of a heavier snack. Some seniors also like blending watermelon with a bit of cucumber or spinach to create a hydrating, fiber-friendly smoothie. The physical rewards can be less straining and more comfort in your abdomen, while emotionally it feels good to experience a natural solution, one that fits seamlessly into your routine. Always remember, though, if you're dealing with chronic digestion issues, it's important to talk to your doctor or a dietitian because they might suggest additional steps that align with your personal health plan. It's also worth noting that when it comes to digestion, everyone's body's different. If you have conditions like IBS or specific dietary restrictions, you might want to introduce watermelon gradually to see how your system responds. Some people find it incredibly soothing, while others might need to tweak portion sizes. The beauty of watermelon is that it's usually well tolerated, and the high water content helps with hydration, one of the fundamental pillars of healthy digestion. If you're following along and thinking about how these insights might apply to you, ask yourself, have I been missing out on easy opportunities to support my health and comfort? Consider whether small additions of a versatile fruit like watermelon could fit into your daily or weekly routine without turning your life upside down. Sometimes the simplest changes can yield the biggest improvements in how we feel day to day. Let's transition now to one more surprising benefit of watermelon that's particularly relevant for older adults. It can help with muscle cramps and nighttime discomfort, partly because of its electrolyte and nutrient content. A lot of seniors assume that cramps are inevitable as we age, whether due to decreased circulation or general stiffness, and that the only remedy is medication or specialized treatments. While medical advice is always important if cramps are severe, many older adults don't realize that factors like hydration and specific minerals can play a big role in muscle function. Take Sam, for instance, who is 76 and has been battling leg cramps at night for a couple of years. He assumed it was just a part of getting older. Sometimes his doctor recommended magnesium supplements, and Sam tried them with minimal relief. After reading about the potassium and magnesium content in watermelon, he decided to add a small bowl of watermelon to his dinner several times a week. Over the next few weeks, he found that his cramps, while not completely gone, were noticeably less frequent and less intense. He wasn't jumping out of bed in agony as often, and he felt more rested in the morning. Of course, everyone's experience will differ, but for Sam, watermelon offered a gentle, natural way to boost his intake of certain electrolytes while also helping him stay hydrated. Why might this work? When our bodies are dehydrated or when we lack certain minerals, muscles can tighten and misfire, leading to those late-night Charlie horses that can ruin a good sleep. By adding a water-rich fruit that also contains some potassium and magnesium, seniors might fill a small gap that leads to better muscle comfort. The emotional relief of fewer cramps is huge. You get a better night's sleep, leading to more energy and a brighter mood the next day. Plus, it feels good to address a nagging issue with a simple dietary approach, rather than feeling trapped into solely relying on medications or suffering through it. Now, this doesn't mean that watermelon is a standalone solution for everyone dealing with cramps. Some people have underlying conditions like neuropathy or circulation problems that require more specialized care. However, many older adults find that these minor tweaks, like introducing a little more of this fruit, are worth exploring. It's affordable, readily available, and versatile enough to enjoy year-round, especially since we can often find watermelon in grocery stores in pre-cut sections, even during cooler months. If you've read this far, you've probably picked up on the pattern. Small changes in your diet, particularly with something as refreshing as watermelon, can offer surprising rewards. Perhaps this is a good moment to think about any long-standing assumptions you've held regarding what you eat. Are there other foods you've been avoiding, maybe based on outdated information, that could actually support your well-being? It's never too late to take another look, especially if you can partner with a healthcare professional or a nutrition-minded friend who can guide you. By now, we've covered how watermelon, often dismissed as just water and sugar, can be an ally for managing blood glucose when eaten in moderation and paired with the right foods. We've also seen how it contains beneficial compounds that may support heart health, how it can gently assist with digestion and regularity, and how it might help reduce pesky muscle cramps by boosting hydration and electrolytes. More broadly, we've hinted at the emotional and psychological effects of reclaiming a simple pleasure from younger days, a slice of sweet watermelon on a warm afternoon, and reintroducing it in a way that is both nostalgic and health-conscious. If there's one message to take away, it's that making healthy choices doesn't have to be complicated. This doesn't mean ignoring medical advice or avoiding prescribed treatments, of course. Instead, it's about recognizing that even the fruits and veggies we thought we knew can have hidden depths, and that embracing them may open the door to feeling just a bit better each day. Time is precious and our bodies change as we get older, so why not explore easy, low-cost steps that can be slipped into your routine? One reason this feels pressing is the knowledge that small annoyances, like slight dehydration or sporadic leg cramps, can become bigger hurdles over time if left unaddressed. Better hydration can translate to fewer dizzy spells, more comfort during activities, and improved mobility overall. Additionally, the vitamins and minerals in watermelon can complement the nutrients you receive from other foods, potentially reducing your reliance on expensive supplements. Now, nobody's saying you should replace all your vegetables or protein sources with watermelon, but adding a serving here or there can be a nice way to nudge your health in a more positive direction without feeling deprived. Maybe you've already begun picturing yourself slicing into a juicy wedge of watermelon tomorrow morning, or blending a watermelon smoothie with leafy greens. Whether you live alone with a spouse or in a retirement community, these ideas can be adapted to fit your lifestyle. You could share a fresh bowl of watermelon with your neighbor or serve it to grandchildren as a snack, knowing you're modeling healthy habits. Even if you have mobility constraints, you can often find small seedless watermelons or convenient pre-cut pieces at your local grocery store that require minimal effort to prepare. So how do you move forward? First, decide if trying out watermelon is something you're comfortable doing with your current health status and medications. If you have significant concerns, a brief chat with your doctor or pharmacist can put your mind at ease. Next, consider what time of day works best for you. Some people prefer a hydrating snack in the afternoon to ward off fatigue, while others like to pair it with breakfast. You could even experiment with a little watermelon after dinner if you're prone to nighttime munchies. Finally, keep a mental note or a short journal entry about how you feel. Are you noticing fewer cramps, steadier energy, better digestion? These small observations can add up to a clearer picture of what helps you thrive. There's no need to wait long to give this a try. It's a low-risk, potentially high-reward step that might just bring you a little extra comfort and well-being. If you find it helpful, you can build from there by exploring other water-rich fruits or even nutritious soups. The key is to stay curious and open-minded, which is often half the battle in maintaining a positive outlook on health as we age. If you're ready to take that next step, I encourage you to pick up a slice of watermelon the next time you're at the store and see if it makes a difference in how you feel. If you enjoy it and want to share the idea, strike up a conversation with a friend, a neighbor, or even on social media. It's through these small, shared experiences that we learn from each other and realize that taking care of our health can be both delicious and rewarding. Above all, remember that you've spent a lifetime gathering wisdom. Embracing a new perspective on a familiar fruit is just one more way you can honor that wisdom, by choosing what truly nourishes you, inside and out. You deserve to feel as vibrant and comfortable as possible in your own body, and sometimes the simplest, sweetest secrets, like a slice of juicy watermelon, can make all the difference.